Hi, Don. When it comes to obviously in the first period with D zone coverage, you guys ended up cleaning it up, for the most part after the first. But in the first period, when they're looking for those seam passes, when you have a young team, how difficult is it to get those guys? Because when it comes to over back checking, it's a little tricky when you're facing a team that's that talented and that skilled, right?
Yeah, it is. They play a wide open game. Can't think of the last team we've played that Jersey plays a little bit wide open too. But they sling pucks east, west, spread the ice out very well, delay, hit speed coming late. So it's a different, certainly a different look from a coverage standpoint than we've been playing against. We knew that coming in. We spoke of that, didn't show a lot because you don't want your guys thinking too much. So we covered it. We showed a few simple clips. And we still struggled at it. And we did make some adjustments as the game went along, gave up a lot less. But obviously we couldn't make up the goal differential. And that was the problem. We dug ourselves too big of a hole. It's again, a different style of team. It's we're obviously an evolving group here. I don't want to say learning. It's more evolving and adjusting. We made some adjustments in game that slowed that tide. And tip things, from at least from a chance standpoint in our favor. But again, too late. Now we get a chance to play them right away again. And it'll be nice to see, how we can respond to that moving into that game.
And did you give any thought to pulling Dustin, just whether performance related or just for a spark? Did you give any thought just to, trying to shake things up?
I did. I gave a lot of thought to it. Consulted with, our coaches, our goalie coach, and Dustin I was concerned at that point of Dustin's confidence. Probably the fourth goal, but the fifth one I believe was a power play goal by them. So he did, his competitive fire came back in the game there, and I don't think that was the difference. I mean, we didn't make up the goal differential at that point anyway, where I thought of maybe pulling him out. But obviously I opted not to. And Dustin responded fine from that standpoint. We just didn't score enough from that standpoint. It would have been after the fourth that I would have done it.
Don, in the power play, have you asked Victor to move around a little bit out of that circle? And I've noticed he's been getting a few more shots in the middle on one-timers. Have you told him he's got to move a little bit and get out of there at times?
We've talked about more movement and flow and interchange, not just, it's a challenge on the power play when you just go right to your position and you go to set up before you break pressure, before, you pull the penalty kill back into their position. So, we've encouraged and we will encourage, set up where you're at, read a play, react to the play. So, we're trying to move toward that direction as opposed to guys just moving, robotically to their setup. Read the play that's in front of you, make a play, look at what's in front of you, fill lanes, fill spots, make a play, and continue movement. But that's an evolution too. And so, yes, we've spoken to that, not explicitly, Victor, you go here, you go there. It's more fill spots, read the play, take what's given.
Don, you mentioned a few times you guys are an evolving group at this point, especially the last couple of weeks. For the most part, how do you feel about the defensive part of your game? I know that, you've talked a lot about offense, but defense is also a big part of what you're trying to implement here.
Yeah, I mentioned, several times to you guys, even though I don't speak of defense a lot, it's a cornerstone. I joked around a little bit. I don't say it, but don't underestimate how important that is. I know how important that is. I believe we've done a progressively better job defending. Certainly, limiting quality chances. Even though we give up shots, it's through sticks, it's pushed outside. It's and we'll get better at limiting shots. Right now, we're limiting quality shots and second chances much better, obviously, than a few weeks ago. And that's going to continue to evolve to the point where the numbers would go down as we, defend more aggressively, quicker. Tonight, we were real sloppy in that, real sloppy. But, as you mentioned at the outset, Lance, you noticed that we were able to reel it in quite a bit. We got pulled out of our D coverage and were seamed, which has been uncharacteristic for us. And then a little bit uncharacteristic on the transition back, the back checking. We actually over back check, which is just as bad as not back checking, because you give your opponent time and space by over back checking. And we were guilty of that several times today.
Just one other thought on the power play. You're starting to get a little production goal wise. You did have 7 shots on goal tonight. Are you still in that area where you'd like to see more shots than you're getting?
Yeah, you know what, Mike, absolutely. But quality, and the last power play, I'm going to have to review it, but we hung onto the puck for quite a bit. There's some things obviously we could have done to be able to generate a cleaner shot within that. So we'll go over that. But the final shot that we did have after that lengthy possession of moving it, we missed on. I think it was a Reinhardt chance. He might have missed the shot, but it was perfect setup. So we had a little bit of patience. Sometimes, and you saw our power play with success earlier in the year, we had more patience than the penalty kill. But we put the penalty kill in situations where they got impatient, where they felt they had to cover more ice, and then we executed in and attacked at the right point. We've lost that. So it's not, when you just shoot and overshoot, you're going to have to retrieve a puck. And so I don't want to just say shoot for the complete fact of shooting, because you're going to have to get that puck back. So it's more than just shooting, but yes, I would like more shots, but tactically. So we've looked better. They've looked more certainly have looked more confident. And obviously just about the time they were going to get frustrated tonight, I threw them back out there, and they did score that power play goal. So some good signs, encouraging signs, but it's still work to do.
All right. Thanks, everybody.